Green Corps is important to me for a few reasons. The first is if you look at my peers, they did Green Corps. So if you look at Justin Rubin, who runs MoveOn.org, if you look at Sarah Hodgson, who's the top campaign person at the Sierra Club, if you look across the environmental community or much of the progressive community, many of the leaders of those groups all came out of Green Corps. I was just at a gathering where several groups were together strategizing on how we shift our country from coal to clean energy, and over a quarter of the leaders in the room were Green Corps alumni. Green Corps has trained hundreds of people, has recruited really great people, and it's amazing to see 70 to 80% of those people stick around and emerge as leaders across the environmental and other communities. So that's number one. My peers are Green Corps alum, and I see the impact they're making every day. The second reason it's important to me is just personally, it really helped my career. The skills that I got at Green Corps, whether it was how to plan campaigns, how to organize, how to run a fundraising office, how to manage staff, all those skills have really equipped me and gave me the broad foundation that I really needed to build on to get to where I am today as the executive director of Greenpeace. Green Corps is important for the broader environmental and social change movement for two reasons. First is that I think for too long, the environmental community has focused on policy before it's had enough power. A lot of the original environmental laws were passed before the Koch brothers and Exxon and special interests and polluting companies figured out how to create think tanks, how to fund campaigns, and how to really systematically take over our government. And politicians care about two things. They care about money and they care about people. And we as conservationists and we as environmentalists, we don't have the money that the Koch brothers have, but we have the people that can influence the politicians, and we have the people who can influence corporations. Now, I think too much of the environmental community still operates based on what succeeded in 1970, where we focus on policy and we focus on lobbying. And I think those two things are really important, but you can't have policy and you won't get policy without power. And what Green Corps teaches people to do is think about the power of people being involved in our democracy and how to really engage people so that we can win all these fights, whether it's for clean air, clean water, enough water to stop fracking from destroying our drinking water, stop global warming, all these threats to our common good. Green Corps teaches people how to bring people together to win and have power. So I think that's number one. I think number two is that, quite simply, Green Corps alum are running much of the progressive and environmental movements. I think Green Corps, if you get in, is just excellent at recruiting some of the best and brightest up-and-comers. And then their training is excellent. So now you'll see across the progressive and environmental movement, a lot of the leaders of these groups, either second in charge or first in command, are Green Corps alum.